start in a minute. Come on into the building, family. Come talk to me. Are we taking this virus lightly? Show will start in a couple of minutes. Come on in. Show will start in a couple of minutes. Is the coronavirus fake news? Come talk to me. realtruthandpower.org. Check out the website. Come on into the building. We are live. The number to call, 877-944-8020. I'm sorry. 8020. Come on in the building. Hit that like and subscribe button.
Pick up the phone. Pick up the phone. Pick up the phone.
We got a phenomenal show today. If you missed our last show, oh my, it got personal.
Pick up the phone.
So let's talk about it. Welcome to Real Truth and Power Live, where we provide powerful content to uplift the Black community with health, wealth, and knowledge of self. Today, we want to talk about an important topic that's affecting all of us. It is definitely affecting me because the line of business I am, when other businesses close, it affects my bottom line. So I'm very excited to talk about this topic. Are we overreacting to the coronavirus, or are we not taking it serious? Before I begin, I want to play a video about a reporter talking about the virus being us overreacting to the virus. Check it out.
No, I haven't, and I've got to say I think the panic buying is ridiculous. Last time I checked, you could buy pretty much all things online in this country, so if you did have to self-isolate, you could just buy whatever you need online. You don't need to go to the supermarkets and clear out the shelves. But the bigger story here is about the the overreaction that I think is going on. We need to keep this in perspective. There's about 3,000 people.
Who's overreacting?
I think the world is overreacting to coronavirus. There are about 3,000 people that have died. Let's say those numbers are underreported. Let's say it's 10 times more than that. It's actually 30,000 people have died. Last year, 650,000 people died from influenza. Now, the bad news about coronavirus is it spreads very easily. The good news about it is the mortality rate is very low, marginally higher than influenza. What does that mean?
Fair bit higher than influenza, let's be honest.
Not that much, about 2% to about 2.3%. What does that mean? It means a lot of people are going to get it. It's going to become a pandemic, but it's not going to be an extinction event. It's not like a Hollywood drama.
Yeah, but you're talking.
So, as you heard from the columnist, journalist, he was saying it's just like the flu. In fact, people who have the flu probably will lose more lives. It's kind of like the flu, which gives me something else I want you guys to listen to before we go to the phone line. Carl Anthony Towns. I'm not sure if you know, but his mother and father have the coronavirus, and let's hear what he has to say about his mother.
What's up, guys? Just something to update you on my life. Just can't sleep. Found the strength to do this video. I think it's important that everyone understands the severity of what's happening in the world right now with this coronavirus. And I think where my life is right now could help. So I decided to do this video and just give you an update of where I'm at. So I was told early last week my parents weren't feeling well. My first reaction to her was to go seek medical attention immediately. There's no reason to wait. Just go to the nearest hospital. And after a couple days of not getting and showing any signs of improvement, I was very adamant on the first day to go to a hospital and seek further evaluation. Specifically, me and my sister, I told her she needs to get checked for corona. I don't think anyone really understood what it was, with deteriorating condition. And, so she kept getting worse. And the hospital was doing everything they can. I was doing everything I could. Still am. And she just wasn't getting better. Her fever was never cutting from 103, maybe go down to 101.9 with the meds, and then immediately spiked back up during the night. She was very uncomfortable. Her lungs were getting worse. Her cough was getting worse. She was deteriorating from her eyes. We always felt that the next medicine would help. The next one would help. This is the one that's going to get it done. This mixture is going to get it done. They released my dad with mandated quarantine to be at the house. He stood at the house for, he's still there today. But my mom wasn't allowed to leave. Both of them had got tests. Both of them didn't get the results, for a long time. And we all assumed my mom had COVID-19 due to just the symptoms she was exhibiting, and she was deteriorating daily. And the day that she was feeling great, we talked, and she felt she turned the corner. I felt she was turning the corner. I knew there was more days to come, but I felt that we were heading in the right direction. And they said that she went sideways, and things that went sideways quick, and her lungs were extremely getting worse, and she was having trouble breathing, and they were just explaining to me that she had to be put on a ventilator, and she was getting worse, and she was confused by everything. And I'm trying to talk to her about everything, and encourage and stay positive, and just talk through everything with her. I talked to her. before she went there. Told her I loved her. Every day I always told her how much I love her. She was telling me things that I didn't want to hear, so I dismissed some things she was saying because it wasn't something I want to hear. It came to a point where it's difficult. It's been very difficult for me and my family, to say the least. She's the head of our household. She's the boss. She's been in a medically induced coma. Since that day, I haven't talked to her, haven't been able to obviously communicate with her. I've just been getting updates on her condition. It's rough, and
Man, that's tough. I got to shake my head onto that one. His mother's in an induced coma right now because of the virus. But I still see people going out partying, having group sessions. And as you saw in the first video, the columnist said, you know, the columnist said, we're overreacting. It's like the flu. So I'm going to take my first caller, 7668. You're in the queue, you're second. And right now we have 0348 on the line. 0348 on the line. Welcome to the Real Truth and Power Live show. How you doing today? What's your name and where you calling from?
Hey man, what's going on? It's Jason calling from Baltimore.
What's going on, Jason? Jason, DJ J Prime. What's going on with you?
Yeah, that's right, the man.
So talk to me.
The man.
What's your opinion on this virus?
First, man, before I get into that, man, I just want to congratulate you on this show because real proud of you, man. You're doing big things. But as far as the virus is concerned, man, I think that we should honestly take it serious. The reason why we're not taking it serious is because of we look at the people that's dying from it. Okay, they're saying that people that already have underlying health issues, underlying health conditions, and it's taking them out. But the reason why I think we should take it serious is because we do not know the effects, the long-term effects, because they don't have a vaccine for it. They don't have no way of treating it. So if you contract it, just because you're young and healthy, we don't know the long-term effects behind this strand, you know. So I would say we take it serious, man. I would really say we take it serious. Stay in the house. They wouldn't be implementing these, these rules for us to stay in the house and, stay in quarantine for nothing.
So let me ask you, because you are a DJ yourself, how is it affecting your business? Do you think a lot of people are coming up with conspiracy theories? How are you coping with managing not doing parties or events and stuff like that? And what are your solutions to it? Is there things you can do online or something that you can tell people that patronize your services as far as being a DJ?
Well, I would say, man, like I have a lot of DJ friends, man, that actually live off of DJ money. Like I am fortunate enough to have a regular daytime job, and I'm an essential personnel, so I have to be to work. But does it affect me still? Yes, it does, because that extra money helps you stay afloat. You know how the world is today, economy, inflation of things. So that money definitely helps me support my family. And I don't think people are overreacting, man, because I'm gonna tell you, I had the flu back in January. I'm just saying I had the flu, and I was told I got kicked out of an event because I was feeling bad, but I ain't had nobody to replace me at the time. So they told me leave the venue, because you don't want to put other people at risk. You know what I mean? Like just because you're healthy and you may get through it, you don't know if you have it, who else you're spreading it to.
Right,
And then,
right.
and then also, if you look at it from a business standpoint, you know how people are with businesses, and they always looking for ways to sue and different lawsuits. So I don't know if people would go to that extreme, but if I was a business like like a Martin's West or something that holds venues, yeah, I would shut down as well, because I'm thinking about that long term. Like, I don't want you coming in here and saying, "Oh, this place wasn't disinfected enough." You know what I mean? And I got it from there. Like, because people will put bad stuff out in the media that can cripple your business, and you may be innocent. So, I agree with everything being shut down. I know it hurts a lot of people. I've seen the DJ community, a lot of them are going live and putting their cash apps up on their live to take donations, which definitely helps, but it's not the same equivalent of when you out here working and you DJing gigs, making several of hundreds of dollars at one time.
Well, I want to thank you for calling and giving your input. And I do definitely agree with you. At first, I was thinking it was a conspiracy theory, but we want you guys to know to stay home, save lives, and we're going to be getting it in soon. We have a powerful show, and if you're not listening, I'm talking to DJ Prime about I see why black businesses fail. And my brother Jay Prime put that on Facebook, and people were saying, yeah, run from the black business. So we're going to get together, allow you to explain yourself, and have people call up and say if they agree with or not about supporting black businesses. So don't run, brother.
And
Don't run.
when we doing that?
We can do it this weekend. Just let me know. I'll hook it up.
Okay, all right, most definitely, man. I'll get in contact with you.
All right, I appreciate you.
All right, cool.
That was DJ Prom. We got another caller, 7668. You are live. Welcome to the Real Truth and Power Show. And please hit that like and subscribe button. We are building in the black community with powerful conversations, and we want to get that out. Are you there, caller? What's your name?
This is Paul Brett, coaches from Coach's Corner. 8 is greater than 80. Those who know will know. Bright Idea Studio, and it ain't easy clothing, because it ain't as easy as I make it look. And I also like to let you know that I'm a relationship specialist. I have 5 children by 3 different baby mamas. I've been divorced. None of my baby mamas talk to me. Therefore, I know everything about everything in a relationship. Been there, done that, baby.
Well, before I let you go, we're going to talk about the coach's corner. But what's your feeling about this virus? I got a lot of conspiracy theories. As you heard from the first video about overreacting, the journalist said, man, look, people going to get it, they're going to die. But more people are dying yearly by far from the influenza flu. What are your thoughts on that?
Usually when the uninformed is informed of something new, it scares them, and usually you'll hear something. There's fear that goes along, and with that fear, you're going to get it doesn't exist. You're going to deny what it is. Just as the brother stated earlier, to compare this to the flu would be ignorant. Um, this is something I believe it is. It's just my belief that this is something a little bit more serious, because the government has never they haven't done anything like this, I think, since the Spanish flu of 1918. You can check my dates on that. I'm not too sure about that. It was Spanish. It was some kind of plague that happened. So we are chartering uncharted territory. I believe that there are long-term ramifications that those who are in charge aren't disclosing to us, because it will probably scare the public. So I'm with better safe than sorry. Only leave out if you have to. I believe in what they call it, social distancing, or whatever it's called, or whatever. That's something that these are just precautions, and I don't think they would put. I don't think the government would put precautions out like this unless they were necessary. Somebody's scared of something.
Now, let me ask you this though: do you think that the way we are washing our hands now, making sure that we're cleaning ourselves better, and things of that nature, sanitation wise, do you think if we were more on tune with that as far as dealing with an average sickness like the flu, that those things would regress? Or do you think this is a little serious, more serious?
All right. First off, we need to come to grips that we are a disgusting people. And whenever you have to be reminded of how to bathe, of how to wash yourselves, how to do this and how to do that, which all involves hygiene. That lets you know that we're hygiene retarded. Um, this is definitely a reminder to those who should. Hello,
Yes, I'm here. Go ahead.
hello.
Yes, can you hear
Okay,
me?
this is definitely a yes. I hear you now. Yes, this is a reminder to those who should have been informed but who are uninformed that hygiene is one of the biggest protectors of any kind of disease. As they say, an ounce of prevention is worth pounds of cure. We are put in a position because hygienic, hygienically, we are a retarded civilization, and it's something as simple as maintaining your own hygiene. That's the best I could say about that.
Right. I agree with you that we are disgusting people. I've seen people come in to the bathroom, don't wash their hands, leave, don't wash their
Hmm.
hands. And me being part of a cleaning business, I can't tell you how many times you can tell by what's in the toilet. People don't
Yes,
even use toilet paper. So it's crazy.
yes,
It's crazy.
yes,
It's crazy. But
yes.
brother Paul, I want to thank you for calling in. But let's talk about your podcast, your show, the Coach's Cool Corner, real quick before I let you out of
Coach
here.
and Coach's Corner is basically I'm a critic. I usually attack local sports teams. Um, I wouldn't. I mean, I just hold them to a different standard. I'm not a feel good guy, a pat on the back if I see something that I think is blaringly obvious that the local sports fans will tend to ignore because it's the home team. I'll highlight those things. But I also want to talk about my profession as a teacher.
Okay.
Could you give me a minute or so to speak about that?
Yes, definitely. Go ahead.
Okay, as a teacher, what's going on now, and I've said it in jest many times. The parents are now learning that coach isn't the only jerk that's in the classroom. The parents are now learning that the young people who they send to school, the teachers aren't supposed to be babysitters. And just as hygiene should be taught at the home, so should um, what is it called? Home training.
Yes.
We have a generation of ill-mannered children, and again, and we can get into why they're ill-mannered, but the fact remains, I've worked in schools, I've worked in correctional facilities, I've been around, and generationally, we have a generation or a few generations of ill-mannered young people. They are socially retarded. Another word another expression, they are uh, they display antisocial behaviors, and it is accepted. So that when, as a teacher, if you demand structure from someone who's been raised by wolves, who 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 who, who are unfamiliar with structure, it's going to cause conflict. And so what's going on now is that these parents are learning that little Jimmy and little Johnny aren't so sweet after all. Those behaviors that they did when they were younger, they're not so cute now because they're 16 and 17 years old telling you what to do and telling you where to go. So the good that has come from this is that now the parents are forced to be parents, and they want those children out of their homes so that they can criticize all of these excellent educators who only want to teach. I just wanted to throw that at you.
Well, before I let you go and take the next call, I got to ask you one thing, because it seems what you're saying is being a teacher is basically now being a daycare provider, which leads me to the next thing. Does that have a lot to do with this No Child Left Behind? Are teachers now basically just trying to keep the kids in order until they get out of the school system and don't learn the damn thing? What's your opinion on that?
Okay, well, the No Child Left Behind, that's sort of a curriculum thing. So,
Okay.
no, I mean, it has an effect, but that's not the biggest antecedent is what I would call it. The antecedent is home training. We have ill-mannered young people who don't know that they're ill-mannered. They don't know that they're not supposed to use profanity. They don't understand discretion. They don't understand that there's supposed to be social barriers between adults and children. We have ill-mannered young folks. That's it. And the parents are now learning.
Well, I appreciate you again, Brother Paul. I'm going to definitely let you know when we do our next show. I always love informative and educated callers. So have a great day. Tell the family I said what's up.
Okay, and the South will rise again.
Oh, the Saints suck, so that's not happening. And on that note, I'm dropping this call. Welcome to the Real Truth and Power Live. If you are just tuning in, my next caller is 0807. That is 0807. Hold on one second. And 0921, you are next. I just lost you. 0921, you are next. 0807, welcome to Real Truth and Power Live. What's your name and how do you feel about the virus?
Hey, how you doing, man? This is Kenny McGee with Vintage Clothing Apparel. How you doing today?
My main man out in Vegas, brother Kenny McGee. Hold on one second. As you can see, I'm rocking vintage clothing apparel. Man, I just wanted to tell you I got my shirts in the mail, and man, it is tight. It is nice material. So I wanted to just thank you for that, my brother. For that right off the bat. Thank you.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you, man. I pride myself on bringing in the quality material with my shirts and stuff, man. My apparel. So I appreciate you rocking it, man.
And the name of your website is vintageclothingapparel.com, correct?
Yes, it is.
All right. Now, talk to me. I want to talk about the virus because I know it's affecting you guys in Las Vegas and things of that nature. What do you really feel about it? Do you think it is? Do you think it's fake news?
Sort of. I think it's an overreaction. I think it's overhype. I think it's fear mongering. I think they got people out here scared for little to no reason. To tell you the truth, this is not good, man. They shut the whole strip down. They shut all the hotels down on the strip. That's crazy.
So you saying out in Vegas where you're at? We're talking to Kenny McGee, my brother from Vintage Clothing Apparel. You're saying casinos, everything shut down.
Shut down, man. It's a ghost town on the strip, man.
Wow. Wow. So, when you say you think people are overreacting, or maybe we're making much too big a deal about nothing, elaborate that on it a little. I don't know if you tuned in earlier. Carl Anthony Towns, the NBA player from, I believe, Minnesota's mother just had to induce her to put her in a coma. So obviously, the virus is affecting people. But on another note, So does the flu. Do you think this is a different kind of thing, or you really think that we're overreacting? People going to get it. We got to keep living our lives. What's your opinion?
Well, if people are getting it like that, I mean, obviously, I'm in the wrong, right? And but I still think the symptoms are mild. Um, but the older people, our older citizens, they are more susceptible. If anything, this is what I'm hearing. They are more susceptible to getting this as anything. So I guess you got to take precautions, and you got to feel for the families that's losing people. But I think I still think there is a overhype to it because people are. I mean, you sneeze in public now, people are looking at you funny. They don't say don't shoot you, or just give you a funny look, or they run away from you. And I just don't. I just think that's. I think that's childish, and immature.
Shout out to Nadine Day listening to us on Facebook. Kenny, before I let you go, and you were really flowing on that, I want you to just elaborate a little bit more how bad it is out in Las Vegas. I know you said the casinos are down. I know a lot of people live in hotels. Talk just about the quarantine part of it. What are people doing out there?
Well, a lot of businesses are shut down. A lot of non-essential businesses are shut down, like movie theaters, like I said, casinos. Only thing that's really open is like grocery stores and hospitals and urgent cares like that. They even closed down bars, man. They they shut the bars down, and our parks out here. They shut our parks down out here. Recreational parks. So it's crazy, man. It's real crazy.
Well, all I can do is tell you to stay safe out there, my brother. Peace and blessings to you, man. And hopefully, business gets going soon. And I'll definitely talk to you and let you know when we get that next show. And definitely thank you for the material. The shirts are banging. It is, man, the material is nice. So I just definitely want to thank you again for the shirts.
I appreciate that, man. Like I said, I pride myself on quality material, man. People don't want to pay for cheap products, so got to get that good stuff out there for everybody.
I appreciate it. All right, my brother, Mr. McGee, have a good one.
You too, man. Stay safe out there.
We trying. Welcome to Real Truth and
All right.
Power Live. If you guys are just tuning in, please hit the like, the subscribe, the share button. Whenever we're having important conversations, whether you think it's important to you or not, let some of the public hear it. It gets our algorithms up. So on the count of three, give me that like. Hit the like. 1, 2, 3. If you're on YouTube, hit the like and subscribe. 1, 2, 3. Wonderful. And also check out our website, realtruthandpower.org. The next caller, 0921. Welcome to Real Truth and Power Live. 0921. What's your name and is the coronavirus fake news?
I don't think that the coronavirus is fake news. No, my name is James.
Brother
I
James.
do think that. How you doing, man?
All right, go ahead.
I think that I agree with the last caller that there's a lot of overhype to it. I think that yes, we should be precautious because the general public doesn't know what the long-term effects of this is. But when people come on and the moment you start giving them facts about certain things and about certain actions, the first thing they want to do is put you under conspiracy theorists. To me, once somebody tries to label you as conspiracy theorists, they're automatically just dismissing everything that you say. In this time and era, when we have, $1,000 computers in our pants pocket, in our purses, there's absolutely no reason why you should be unaware of what's going on around you, whether you think that it's a conspiracy theory or not. You're quarantined All the places are shut down. Instead of, you know what I mean, binge watching something, fact check. That's all you have to do. This person is coming to you and telling you, oh, well, it's this, it's this, it's this, it's this, it's this. You have the means to check that information. So if someone comes to you and says like, oh yeah, you know, the coronavirus, you know, China and Iran are accusing the U.S. saying that the strain that's going around came from the U.S. Fact check. You go back and you look and you say and you Google it. I'm not saying that everything on Google is 100% correct because you can put anything you want out there, but you check it. Then you check it against other information. You check it against other information. If that information comes back that this coronavirus the U.S. actually has a patent on it, then you can look up and see who owns that patent. So, you know what I mean? When there's, you know what I mean, so-called stories or rumors floating around to like, oh, this person owns this patent, that person owns this patent, then the next step you have to say is if someone patented a virus, why? Because this is where the conspiracy comes to an end and common sense, to me, has to kick in. Their name a virus that is used to promote life. Exactly. Empty air.
Right.
Nothing. Name a virus that is used to promote life. There is none. A virus is only used to destroy life. That's it. So why would you create something? So don't tell me that, you know what I mean, oh, this came from this or this came. No, someone has a patent on it. Someone is making this. And they're making sure that no one else can make this, just them.
Well,
so
let me go ahead. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And he was like, oh, here you go with the conspiracy theory. I was like, well, if you think it is a conspiracy theory, then explain to me how this virus got from the laboratory to the public.
Well, let me ask you
Someone
this.
has a patent on it. Someone owns this.
Let me ask you this. Because recently, right around, say, a couple of months before the virus really started getting known worldwide, and maybe before it got started, there was and I'm not sure if you know, there's a huge debate going on about vaccines and should we use vaccines. And then after that, the virus hit home, and obviously there isn't a vaccine for it yet. What do you feel about viruses? I mean, and vaccines. I'm sorry. Do you think we should take vaccines? Do you think the virus is kind of from a vaccine? What's your thoughts on that?
I think that when they created that virus, they created a vaccine for it. I mean, it doesn't make any sense because what if what the person that he created or the group of people, the entity that created this virus, does not want to be infected with this virus? So of course they have a vaccine for it. That doesn't make any sense. That you would create something that destroys life, but you don't know how to stop it.
So let me go back to this again.
But the vaccine thing. I'm sorry.
No, I want to go.
Vaccine thing.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, I'm not against vaccines. I am against government-regulated vaccines because the U.S. government, again, time and again, has proven that they cannot be trusted with the health care of its citizens because it disregards the health care of its citizens on a regular basis. And again, this goes back to you have time to look this stuff up. The U.S. The CDC has finally lost a case in court, and now they have to admit that the mercury that is put in the vaccines that are given to these children is causing autism. For years, they have buried their own research showing this. You have the Tuskegee experiment. You have the U.S. government putting ether in alcohol to try to stop, prohibition. You have the U.S. government, creating Agent Orange, creating crystal meth, creating, bringing, a form of cooked cocaine from South America to give it to their own citizens. These people, they can't be trusted with the health care of the citizens because they disregard it on a regular basis. When you take Baltimore, and this is in any major city, but since we are here close to Baltimore, think about the number of people that have hepatitis. How many of those people are being quarantined? They don't have to cough. They don't have to sneeze. Most of the time, you just need to be in a room with them. When we're talking about influenza, when we're talking about, the flu and all HIV is still very prominent in our community, very prominent. But, they can't be trusted with our health care. They absolutely cannot, because the first thing they're going to do with your health care is to sell it to someone.
Now, you said something that I heard before about vaccines. So clearly, it doesn't seem that you're pro vaccines. And I heard this a lot of times during a lot of the debates. And vaccine has caused a disease. What was that disease again?
Autism.
Autism, correct. I did hear about that, and it's just kind of to me, not to say not to stay home or anything like that, but I'm with you a little bit that um, with people trying to say they're not going to use vaccines and the knowledge of how vaccines are hurting people, especially in the black community, it's kind of ironic right now that this virus came out. Do you think, and I hate to say it, do you think there is some kind of conspiracy theory? I know you've been
I
doing it,
don't
but
think it is a conspiracy theory. What I think is there's the truth, and that you can look it up and you can research the truth, or you can just take propaganda. I don't have a problem with vaccines, and I'll tell you why. Because in 18 of the European countries, they use the same vaccine, the same company that makes the vaccines for our children makes the vaccine for theirs. They've seen the rise in autism and the change in the formula that was using, that they were using to vaccine their kids, and it was just like, wait a minute, no, hold up, stop. They stopped them. It's the exact. The only difference is between the vaccine that they use in Europe and the one that they use in America is that there is no mercury in it. The cases of autism dropped dramatically once the mercury was removed. So it's not a conspiracy. You can look it up yourself. You know what I mean? You can look it up. People are lazy. People are mentally lazy. So when you start, like the one brother said, when you start giving them facts and you start telling them something that makes them uncomfortable with the society that they live within, then, it's easy to brush it off and say like, oh, no, it's not this. You're home. You're home. You have nothing but time on your hands. Look it up. Look it up. You want to know where this coronavirus came from? Look it up. Who owns the patent to this? Look it up.
You preaching. Well, I want to thank you for calling. I want to thank you for calling. But go ahead. You got something to say real quick? Get it out, brother. Get it off your chest.
Yeah.
And say it with your chest, brother. Say it with your
The other
chest.
thing is, when the only reason why I think that it's being overblown, I will admit that as a general in the public, we don't know what the long-term effects are. But at the same time, we're locking everybody down, keeping them in their houses, shutting businesses down. We are pretty much basically bringing the U.S. economy to a halt. It is crumbling. The second thing is we're talking about a virus that has a 97% chance of survival. 97% chance. So while they just showing, videos on the news of the 300 people that died in Italy, and by no means am I underestimating the loss of life. By no means. But how many times did they report over 100,000 people have gotten this disease and recovered?
That's
Hundreds of thousands of people are recovering from this thing. Yes, people are going to die, like you said, like all the other people said. We still have more people that have died from the flu. Still having people that have died from TB. We still have millions of people worldwide dying from the effects of HIV. But these people are quarantined.
Man, that was some powerful information. Let me ask you, where do you work? Are you in the healthcare field? You seem to have a lot of
I
knowledge.
am in the healthcare field. I
How
am in the
how,
healthcare field.
how is the virus affecting you um, as far as work? What are you seeing in your field of business, saying health field? How's it affecting, the community, and how's it affecting your livelihood?
The biggest thing is when we go out to deliver equipment. Um, we're no longer allowed in facilities. So the social worker or the someone's family member has to be there to meet us outside of the facility in order to get a wheelchair. We have suspended setting up hospital beds because the drivers feel uncomfortable, we feel uncomfortable in sending, technicians in people homes when we don't know, we're asking them, do you have any symptoms? Do you have this? Do you have that? And for the most part, to be honest with you, most people are understanding. So when we tell them, like someone called today and was just like, oh, we have equipment that we need you to come and pick up. And it's like, well, we have to call you back once we, get some type of protocol on how we want to be able to retrieve that equipment without coming into contact with anyone in the house.
Well, man, that was a very
So
informative call, caller. Any last words you guys say?
hey man, protect yourself, man. I mean, don't go at anything blindsided. Don't take anybody's word for anything. And in this point right now, with everybody being quarantined, everybody being shut down, educate yourself. Educate yourself. Unite. Let's come together. If you don't like the quarantine and you don't like this, and you know what I mean, whatever it is, educate yourself on it to have a real reason why. Don't tell me that you've seen a meme on Facebook or somebody posted something on Instagram, such and such, and all you seen was the picture. You never read the article. Go and read the article. Go and get the Newsweek, article where China is accusing the U.S., where Iran is jumping in, telling the countries, telling Turkey, telling all these countries around them, like if you have a U.S. lab in your country, shut it down. They're spreading this disease. Go and read the article. See what it says. Then make up your mind. Go and research what these people. You have time on your hands. Go and research. Stop calling people conspiracy theorists. A conspiracy theorist will tell you like, oh man, yeah, it's funny now that they talking about this flu thing, and I can't find any cherry coke. I think the two got something to do. That's nonsense. You can keep that. That you can give your conspiracy theories. When someone is telling you that this is this and this is that, and they're telling you facts that you can go back and look up, go back and look it up. And then educate yourself, educate your family, prepare yourself, make a plan.
Thank you again, caller. Real quick, sports has been shut down by the virus. Are you an NFL team? What's your team?
My team is the Washington Redskins and the mighty Pittsburgh Steelers.
Bye,
Also, I'm
bye,
a big
bye,
Washington.
bye. Had to hang up on that idiot once he said Pittsburgh. It's all Ravens here. I'm just messing with you. Thank you again, caller. That was a phenomenal call. Phenomenal call. Next caller, 6413. Hold on 1 second. I'll have you in 1 second. I just want to talk about the upcoming shows coming up. We're going to be doing some reviews on a couple of shows you can watch while you're home, not work or having a lot of time. One of the shows we'll be reviewing is LeBron James is the executive producer. It's called Self Made, the story of Madam C.J. Walker, the first millionaire, female millionaire, and she's a black woman. You got to see the show. We're going to review that. Friday, if everything goes well, we got another powerful show. We're going to continue on with our last show. It got a little heated about homosexuality being pushed in the black community. So we're going to have two of those people call up. They're going to talk about the disagreements. We're going to come to a resolution there, and we're going to do a good build. And just a lot of shows. I also mentioned the show with DJ Prime. I see why black businesses fail. I'm a black business owner, so of course I took that to heart. He's going to talk about it. We're going to accept calls on that. Right now, we are talking about the coronavirus. It's affecting us all. My man Kenny McGee from Vintage Clothing Apparel called. He was in Vegas. He said they got the strip shut down. The strip is shut down. We talking about Vegas, man. So a lot of people are being affected by this. So is this fake news? Are we overreacting? Let me take another caller. 6413. You are live on the Real Truth and Power show. Are you there? 6413. What's your name and what do you feel about the virus?
Hey, what's up, E? It's John Moran. How you doing, man?
Reverend John Moran. I'm just talking about that upcoming show. If everything goes well, Friday we'll continue that discussion on his homosexuality being pushed in the community. Do we even care? A lot of people are saying we're old school, we're overreacting. It's a new age, a different time. So we're going to have you in a discussion, and hopefully it doesn't get as heated, but of course we're going to keep it informative. But Reverend, talk to me. What do you feel about this coronavirus? We had a caller that was on before you pretty much saying, somebody built this virus pretty much. He talked about the huge issue about vaccines. They found out that vaccines are giving autism, and there's a lot of knowledge coming into the black community to not take vaccines. In fact, John F. Kennedy, Robert F. Kennedy, one of the Kennedy sons, is against vaccines. So he had a very good debate in New York, and then all of a sudden, ironically, the virus hit. But what do you feel? Do you think we're overreacting, um, or do you think people are not doing enough? Because there's still a lot of people out hanging out, having get-togethers, drinking, socializing, and it's spreading. What do you feel about that?
Well, I do not believe that we're overreacting. That's for sure. When you look at this pandemic and how it has affected the world, other countries have been impacted by this, and I really think that some individuals are not taking it serious enough. Not abstaining from the social contact. It was just last week. Now, from week to week, things change. It was just last week I rode down Windsor Mill Road, and at Windsor Middle School, guys were out there playing basketball. On both courts. It was deep out there. E. I was going to pull over and say I got next. But I don't think that we really are taking it serious enough. I don't think we're overreacting at all, because just one person can get it in your household can impact everyone there. And so I don't think we're doing enough, and I think that comes from the government. I don't think the government is really putting a effort out as far as to unify the nation on a criteria on how to mitigate this coronavirus. So I don't think we're overreacting at all.
Let me ask you a question as far as being into the church. How are you guys handling service, and things of that nature? And then I want to ask you a religious question. Well, let me make this question twofold. How are you guys handling the virus as far as having service, taking donations and things of that nature? And then some would say, you being a reverend, why should we cancel service? The Lord has our back. Come on into the church. We protected here. I got to get your answer to that, Rev. Talk to me.
All right. Now, our church has really shut everything down because of the wake of the virus. And we have suspended all activities for this month of March, and also all extracurricular activities until the end of July. That means that when the church does open back up. We won't have evening services until after July. Pastor Lemon has taken the necessary precautionary measurements to ensure the safety of his congregation, in which I totally agree. Now, I do know that some churches as a whole, they are saying individuals can still give by using Cash App, go to their website, and they can still give that way. Or when you come back and service is open, if you're able to give at that point. Now, I do believe that the churches should be closed. They should be closed. We ought to respect the government and respect those who are in authority, the leaders. And Governor Hogan says individuals should not assemble more than 10 last Sunday, I think. And the week before was no more than 250. So the week before we were able to assemble, but last Sunday was 10. And now this week I don't believe anyone can assemble. So I totally agree that the churches should be closed. There are more than one way we can reach our congregations, and that is via Skype, Facebook. We can still get the word out. So I agree with that.
Okay. So how are you guys going as far as, the collection pot? I know that's a lot for the church. I think you did speak on that a little bit, but is there a way where you guys get out to people, collect donations? How about the sick? I know you do a lot of counseling for people.
Yeah.
Are you able to get out there? Are you afraid to go into someone's home? How's it affected you from that point?
Well, of course, the contact, the physical contact in which we are unable to go and see the sick and shut in because they're more vulnerable to getting the coronavirus. So right now, all we can do is just call them. Just call them and pray for them, of course, over the phone. That's it. It's just no social contact, which really hampers us. But we still can effectively minister to individuals by giving a phone call to them. And go from there. Yeah. One thing I will say about that caller before you, he mentioned, there were a lot of conspiracies about the coronavirus. And I came on at the tail's end. But I would like to say this, is that it is a possibility, if you look at it, that maybe it was manufactured by someone. When you think about it, that if it did come from a bat in China, that bats have been sold at the market for years. So this just happened recently. And if it was from a bat, how come it didn't happen, in recent years? So someone could have manufactured this, and that person could be sitting on the vaccination, the antidote, whatever we want to call it, for the healing. So, all of this is a possibility.
Yeah, I thought that was he made a lot of great points in reference to the vaccines, and I did hear. I didn't know what it was. So I think he said a lot of the vaccines have mercury, and that causes autism, and things of that nature. So are you saying, not to say conspiracy theory to keep us in the house or anything like that, but Reverend Morant, you do feel that this could have been manufactured in some way for some reason?
It could have been. I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't. It's just that when you think about it, is how could this just break out a couple of months ago in China when they always had bats at the market? They've always sold them there. And maybe that bat just had a bad strain, okay? it just seems like it could have broke out years ago. This shouldn't have been the first time this happened in China. So right now everything is on the table.
Yeah, I feel you.
Because of the battle conspiracy theory.
Yeah, I've heard a lot. Some of them have been, they wanted to damage China's economy because right now, mostly everything that's being produced is from China. So
Yes.
that was the one thing, and then the next thing, it's been a lot, but that was one of the major ones I heard. Um, as a reverend dealing with counseling and everything, I know you said you're doing a lot of
Yeah.
phone calls and things of that
Yeah.
nature. How has it affected your church, your community, your loved ones? Is it a strain on them being away from the church? A lot of people in our community, they depend on the church, and not maybe from a religious aspect, but just for what the church does for the community. Talk a little bit about the stress it's been for everyone not being able to, communicate and, build together.
Speaking on that, a couple of our missionaries today um, have fed some children in our neighborhood that are unable to afford to go out. Their parents are unable to afford to really go out and to go to the market. So we had made some bags. We call them little survival kits, and so they passed them out to some of the kids in the neighborhood. And so that's a good thing. Even though it is even though the virus is still out there, the church is still operating in such a way that we're still meeting the needs of the people. We're still meeting the needs of the people. We still have a remnant still meeting the needs of the people, still feeding the homeless and things of that nature. So right there, that's a blessing. We, as far as of course meeting like a Bible study and Sunday school service, that is a strain because you're used to doing those things every week. Every week, we're used to going to Bible study. We're used to meeting, evangelism meetings, men's ministry meetings, and getting together on Sundays for worship. That is a strain. I said, and to try to keep in contact with one another, we'll have Sunday school on Sunday mornings via conference call. Hopefully, we can start having it, via Skype or Zoom, where we can still have that contact. We can see each other, we're social individuals, and we have to understand this is how God created us. God created us to fellowship with one another. God created a community. In the beginning, there was Adam and Eve, and then from them, they had Cain and Abel, and so it always was a fellowship. That's how God created us, to be in fellowship with one another. So when you look at it from that perspective, it is a strain. It is a strain, because that fellowship is missing with one another. But God will see us through. We'll get through this. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you, Reverend, for calling. Man, as always, you blessing us with faith, spirituality, and a lot of wisdom. And if everything goes good, we're gonna have a powerful discussion Friday night at 8 o'clock.
Yes.
Man, if y'all, it's gonna be powerful. It's gonna be a good, powerful build. So thank you for calling, and I'll talk to you then.
Yeah. Take care.
All
Thanks
right.
a lot.
Wow, man. What another powerful show, man. We blessed just to get this information out to the community. And I'm glad that one of the callers, unfortunately, he's a Pittsburgh fan, haha, but mentioned autism with vaccines because the next thing is they're going to be coming out with a vaccine for um, this new strain of the coronavirus. So I have to ask, should we take the vaccine or shouldn't we? It's affecting kids. There's a lot of research saying that these vaccines provide viruses. So that's just one of the things that we have to really approach as a community. But again, another powerful show. Thank you guys for tuning in. We were blessed, had a nice amount of callers, and stay tuned. We got a lot of powerful things coming up, a lot of powerful shows coming up, and once again, we are blessed. So thank you for tuning in to Real Truth and Power. By the way, check us out on our website. It's up and running, realtruthandpower.org. If you're up and about and you don't have time to watch the video on YouTube and Facebook, we're also on Daily Motion. Check us out on podcasts. I love podcasts. When I'm working, I can just listen. I listen to a lot of shows on podcasts. We're on Apple, Google, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. So the podcast of Real Truth and Power Live is everywhere. And we are just so blessed to be able to give you this information. And we got a lot more information to come. So I want to say, by the way, shout out to my brother Kenny McGee, VintageClothingApparel.com, Conscious Gear. Also, if you want some gear, check us out on Real Truth and Power Live. Click. We got hats, shirts, everything out there as well. So I want to say, Hotep, we are out of here. Stay safe. Stay blessed. More importantly, I want you guys to stay in the house. It's not worth it right now. It's just not worth it. Stay home. Stay home. Stay safe. Stay home. Stay safe. I am out of here. Again, realtruthandpower.org is the website. And stay blessed. And I'm out of here. Peace.
Pick up the phone. Pick up the phone.